Again, this is a brand new golfer. Actually has a pretty good setup. I'd like to see the right foot a little square to the target line, but a pretty nice setup. Let's watch what happens as she takes the club back. She's lifting up a little bit and pulling away from the red line. See that? Plus the club is going way back to the inside, so she's kind of getting herself bound up a little bit. We want to let the club swing on its natural arc instead of lifting up and pulling away from the shot. She gets to the top of the backswing, does start down nicely. Look at that, right down on plane. Pretty good move. Pretty good move, turning into the shot. But right there, she's lifted way up out of the shot and her hands are too high. The ball's going to go off to the right. There it is, right there, shooting off to the right. It turns through it. Never gets off of her right side at all. We're going to work a little bit more on the weight transfer. Starts out with good posture. We're just going to get a more natural swing going. Nice job. The main thing we're going to notice here with this golfer is the casting of the club head. The very last thing that moves fast in the golf swing is the head of the club. We want it to lag behind everything else. Our job is to move the grip end of the club and let the manufacturer who designed the club move the head using the shaft. So we're going to watch in slow motion. Does a nice job of setting the hinge at the top, and then watch this. It just casts it right out. The right elbow flies. Look at that. Very uncomfortable position, very awkward. You can see that the club passes the hands real early. The hands are just barely to the back thigh, and he's scooping the ball. And he's got such little energy on the shot that notice that the ball isn't even leaving the club face. They're about in the same spot because he's decelerated so badly into the shot that the ball isn't being compelled to go forward. Remember, force is acceleration times mass. So we can see a deceleration and no mass in this swing. We've got to get him rotating through the swing, turning the left elbow to the ground as he's coming into the impact position instead of flying it up over his head in a very uncomfortable position. As you can see from this position here, the red line clearly shows that the ball is quite a ways back of middle. I really think most golfers are better off if they play the ball forward of their lead cheek and get a little spine tilt away from the target. If she has any spine tilt at all, it's in that direction there. And we need to kind of work on having it more going this direction here. Okay? Now let's watch the swing. We're going to put a circle around her head. That's the center of the swing. Now she goes back. The head goes first, way back out of the circle, way back into the circle, and turns through. Loses a little balance. To be on the positive side, this was one of our very first swings ever. So, very good athleticism there. Not a bad job. Let's take a peek at the swing in slow motion. Nice plane. Right back down to the plane again. She's got everything going on right now very nicely. All the way through to a balanced finish. Watch how the club goes to the top and drops straight back down until it's right on plane again. She's bringing her hands right on through. The right hand's a little high, but not bad. Right on through in a rotation. About the only thing we could look for would be a little bit better movement of this foot back here, so that the heel goes straight up instead of kind of swivels out behind her. See how it's going behind? But all in all, a good swing. Remember, the third skill set in learning how to swing the golf club effectively is rhythm and tempo. Rhythm is the sequence of the rotary swing. He's got steps 1 and 2 down pretty well. He's got a great setup, good connection to the ball, the ground, the club, the target. He has a nice rotary takeaway. See that? Getting a nice rotary, staying very balanced and steady. But what happens here is he runs a little bit out of timing. He gets a great shift of the body towards the target line, but then quits moving. So the right side hasn't moved through, leaves no option but to chicken wing like that, because at this point now the right hip should be directly under the right elbow. That should be right there is where the hip should be. And you see it's way back. So we're just going to get him to turn a little bit more with the golf swing, and he's going to have a much more powerful, much more precise swing. When I play this in slow motion, I want you to keep an eye on the hips and how the right hip actually goes lower as he comes down to the swing. It goes lower than the left hip. So watch the right hip collapse down. that's going to create an inconsistent swing. We need to get the hips to move through level. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. We need to get the hips to move through level through the impact zone. Let's go right back here. Now, right there, they're level. And then you're going to watch the right hip house dropping down and collapsing. See how low it's gotten? That's not a power position. That's a power robbing position. We have to turn the hips on a level plane. We're going to see a pretty good swing here, but what we want to do is try to get a little bit more energy of this hip rotating around through the swing. So let's just watch. He's going to take the club back nicely on a plane. Maybe a little too far to the inside, but not bad. Gets the club set. He's going to bring it right down on the plane again. Very good job there. Moves into the shot. Get a nice little knee flex right there. But then the right hip quits moving. See that? It's sort of stuck right there. Whatever is moving needs to be moving around the rotary motion of the golf swing. And you can see right here he's stuck. If you look at his foot here, foot right there is very planted on the ground still. We're not getting any spike showing until right about there. Way too late, and it throws him off balance. If we watch this swing in slow motion, what you'll see is that the golfer moves his upper body over the top of his lower body. He never gets an opportunity to drive into the ball through impact. Let's watch this go back. Nice bet, nice takeaway. And he's over the top. And that is caused right about at the top of the backswing as he starts down. You're going to watch the right knee. Watch his go down, the right knee, how it kind of collapses down to the ground. If he does that, he can't do anything but pull the shot left. So we're going to get him to take his right knee to his left knee instead of pulling it so far to the right, to the left.